So Justin, so you start off because I'm like really interested in your answer. What is your favorite scary movie?
Scary movie? Oh man. I'm gonna go. I don't know if you've seen this, but Cabin in the Woods is probably my favorite movie.
It's a good choice.
So it is like it starts off as like a scary movie, right? And then it gets kind of crazy. There's a little couple twists, and I think that's my wife and I like that was our first movie we ever watched. So yeah, that's the one.
Like ever
in your life?
Like ever together, together.
Yeah.
Not ever like we went our whole lives like 20-something years and then we never saw a movie until we met.
In houses without TVs and then all
That'd
of a
be
sudden
crazy.
like, this is a movie.
Yeah, this is a film. No, that's it. I think that's my favorite for sure.
Not solid.
What are you doing, Jacob?
I was thinking Silence of the Lambs, but I kind of want to just go with Chucky. Just
Chucky.
good classic.
You're
So
thinking
my girlfriend has a story that her dad showed her Chucky when she was like 8 and then like fell asleep and like went to bed, like went to walked
he went
to the bedroom.
Bed? He went to bed.
And then
yeah.
like she's just on the couch like watching it by herself. And I was just like, wow. Like
Bro, is there real quick to go on that? We're talking about scary stuff. Is there anything scarier than like being a kid and waking up in the middle of the night and like your whole family's gone from the living room and the TV's just on a blank screen?
Yeah,
Bro, that's crazy.
That's why the ring was made.
Yep.
Yeah,
dude,
like,
that's
fuzzy screen. That is that messes
that's
you
a
up.
nightmare, dude.
Kids don't even know what that is nowadays.
Yeah,
they just
no.
like to have the Roku screen like bouncing around.
They're at that little for
There's
sure.
no fuzzies anymore. No salt and pepper races.
Well, you always try to let it like go to the corner of the screen.
Yeah.
That's always fun. So
Never does.
That's
All right, Taylor, you.
easy
What do you got, dude?
I got Hereditary. It's a little bit cult classic, but it's gory, it's gross,
He's
it's all
twisted.
that stuff.
He's
yeah,
twisted.
but it's,
You're a creep, dude.
no, it's definitely the one that like you need to have the lights off. You know, like just unplug all of them. Unplug the phone if people still do that. I don't know if they have cordless.
Yeah, some people have phones, but
Just
no.
don't be annoyed by it. Like it's a good
Take the phone off the hook.
All right.
It's a good story. I mean, it immediately gets crazy like the first 3 minutes, so you're already locked in. Toni Collette's a really good actress, so they got some big names in there too. So
You guys thought you were getting into a fantasy football podcast, but no, we're talking Halloween movies.
Yes.
You know what else is terrifying?
our shit.
This podcast.
Believe it in
All right.
Kadarius Toney?
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well yeah, rostering Kadarius Toney that gives me nightmares.
True or false? Does he contain a hamstring in his body?
He
Yeah,
was
'cause
he was
pulling them.
somebody's pulling the
He's
hamstrings.
like, absolutely yes. Something's getting pulled.
I would wish he had no hamstrings because then he couldn't pull anything.
Yeah.
That's true. He might actually play football. The scientists have never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
All right, welcome to another fantasy football show presented by Sports Injury Central. I am Justin here with Jacob and Taylor. We are back another week of football in our faces, and this one was a pretty rough week for injuries. I mean, obviously, Sports Injury Central, we are breaking down that stuff at sicscore.com. You can get all the analysis there. It was a busy week for us over on that site, but as a fantasy football player, it's rough. It's rough out there.
Condolences to all the Breece Hall owners. I mean, anyone that ended up with Javonte Williams and Breece Hall, I don't know if people ended up in the same league. They're probably not with ADP the way it was, but it's just you hate to see two young backs go out like that.
I just think it's like, I don't know, it sounds like crazy, but it's like a game sometimes when you like, we're playing a game, fantasy, but like every time, like I'm just like, you're waiting for the one domino to fall, and it's
The
always
big
like a
impact to your roster,
starting
yeah.
lineup, and then what's after that? Who's the backup? Who do I need to get? You know, like the Michael Carter's stuff like that. So like I always think like when you look at a lineup, like when you submit it, like final submit on Sunday morning, you're like, which one of these guys is are they all going to last through the weekend? You know, like it's like don't knock all my toy soldiers down. You know what I mean? Like
right, and it's also not even injury, not always injury too. We just saw Christian McCaffrey get traded, and now everyone's scrambling for Panthers backup running backs, and this is where we're at. This is what we're doing here.
Panthers running back arms race.
No, Hubbard, like those kind of players too. It's weird because like Hubbard, I remember everybody dropping multiple weeks ago. Like, oh, he's done. Even the Pacheco's, like like you said, not even injury. So situation changed too as well. And then the Pacheco's have been after week 2, everybody's like, oh my god, he's not getting more than 40 yards. Get rid of him. And then all of a sudden, now he's a starter or someone gets traded. Now these guys are not only people that were gross. Now they're like, you have to have them. You're blowing all your fab budget on it. Like this is it. Like this is where my season ends if I don't get this guy, right?
There were a lot of people complaining about that Pacheco report where he came out as the starter. And he wasn't even the highest producing back in the backfield there. But
I don't know what you're supposed to expect.
By 2 carries.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, always going to be a split. It's just lean towards him in that one game.
It's a 1A, 1B, and he got from B to A.
So was that
like, that was the jump,
like they're now in the bye week, right? So the Chiefs are on a bye week. Do you
Correct.
think that was like a bridge the gap? Maybe like let's test it out and then see, and then like maybe we'll take a week to actually implement something for him. I don't know what they're obviously I don't know anybody in the Chiefs organization, but
I
they
just
could.
think it's a weird running back room already, right? Like to choose from, like who you choosing,
The only thing I'd say besides trying to read Andy Reid's mind, because that's impossible, is I think part of that was injury based. They knew that Niners defense was so depleted that they could maybe use it as a project game for Pacheco. They knew they were going to be up early and get him touches, which they really didn't get him as many touches as they should have if they were treating it like that. So
right.
I really don't kind of know where that report came from, but that's definitely one to watch coming out of the bye week.
Yeah, there was a mad dash for Pacheco before those games kicked off, right? Because everyone's like trying to figure out this is real. It's finally happening, and it really didn't come
like
to fruition.
$100 a fab for 8 carries for 43. Like congratulations.
Yeah, gross.
Like,
and then an immediate bye week,
and then question marks afterwards.
Like, gross.
Well, I know like Kareem Hunt was doing this all the time back day. I don't remember. Hilaire did this a couple times last year, but like there's not many times where this team has a 100-yard rusher. Like I
they
like
pass so much. It's
that's the more value. It was
Cole Hardman's running end arounds for touchdowns.
Two of them like that. They can't even get a touchdown from Pacheco. So it's like I don't know. It's not something you want to like. I think Foreman was the bigger ad because that's a team that like might run more. Like I know McCaffrey was such a utilization in the pass game, but like they still ran him 20 times a game. So and then remember Foreman did that for Henry. He ran for almost 600 yards last year, filling in for Henry, who was also that's a little bit more of a run-based team, but still he can fit that scheme and do more, and he did do that again.
You almost like the boring teams because they don't get creative near the end zone. I mean, you go to the Bills and you don't know who's getting the ball in the end zone.
They're not trying to be cute. They can barely win.
Chiefs, you don't know who's getting the ball in the red zone unless it's Travis Kelce. That's a safe bet every week, but it's all these gadget players that get these touchdowns and then they seem like they have high fantasy value, like Isaiah McKenzie. Sorry, Justin, I know you're big on McKenzie.
That's my guy, bro.
Yeah. Well, like those teams,
like it's just like you like the boring teams that just run like 20 times a game with the same guy, but those don't exist anymore.
You want the volume, you want the target share, so you don't want to worry about anybody else. Right. You want to put him in your lineup, like, oh, he's gonna get 10 catches, maybe. Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's get into the injury rundown. Obviously, we just talked about it. This week was kind of brutal. So, Jacob, let's take us through this rundown. This memoriam.
Big interesting one this week. I mean, Amon-Ra might have cost some people some matchups coming out so early with the head check, but. Turns out they're reporting that he didn't have a concussion. That's a great sign for him to return this week. It's really interesting just following all this stuff of they don't announce whether a guy has a concussion or not. So this is kind of one clear one where they said he didn't. So good for those fantasy owners. You can probably expect him in your lineup this week. Ezekiel Elliott, probably not. He had end of the first half, went out with a knee injury, came back, got his 2 touchdowns afterwards, actually. So saved some fancy production, but looking like he's probably going to sit against the Bears and then be out through the bye. And then we'll see after that, but might be a 3 to 4 week injury for him.
It's a good time for people to like realize who should be the starting running back there anyways. I know by like money wise, they have to start Elliott a lot more. I mean, Pollard's for sure the man there.
It's like capping Pollard's value, but it's also adding to it because everyone focuses on Elliott and then Pollard just gets all the production.
Well, it's weird because like when they do make him the pure runner, he totally does not use in the pass game at all, which is very weird because he can do both.
You think you'd want to use him at both?
Yeah, like like they did with Stevenson this weekend. Like one might not be the other. If fine, he's not the greatest rusher, but he should be getting like 8 catches a game. When Prescott there, he's great yak. He moves the ball down the field. So it's like like you said, you're capping your offense by not utilizing something that of a strength that can be helpful.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point. I think Damian Harris is going to be an interesting situation to watch. It seemed like that's Ramondre Stevenson's running back room now. Damian Harris came back probably a week too early on the hamstring and didn't really do much. But
that hurts him, I think, because then, like from like the visual standpoint, you're like, wow, not maybe.
Ramondre looks like the guy.
Yeah, and it's not maybe people don't even think about the hamstring. Now they're like, he had 3 for 8. No, and even he had a couple catches because like if you're going to use Stevenson a lot, Harris is going to have a little bit more time in the pass catching game, which he's not great at. But he had two targets. I believe he had 1 catch for 2 yards. I mean, they had the first catch they threw to Stevenson. He had -1 at first, but the second one when they finally Zappy came in, 10 yards, boom, right there. So like that's not something Harris looks like he can do, but he does look like a solid like Sony Michel type, like going in getting the touchdowns. He's a big body that will help. That will be help because Stevenson's breaking out yardage and getting like great gains and efficiency on his runs. So Harris might still be a commodity, but like just for TDs, I don't think he's getting volume anymore.
Yeah, I think Stevenson clearly looks better. I think it's too early to. It's too early to write off Damian Harris completely. Like you said, I think he's going to have. He will have a role. Like this team can't even figure out what quarterback they want to play. So like, I don't know. You think they're going to come out?
What do you guys think about that? Like this, I just think that's egregious. This isn't college. I get that they're trying to, but like, just pick one. Like
I think Belichick's just trying to play chess. He's just like, I'm smarter than everyone. I can like put him in certain situations. Like that. I don't think
What's the situation? One plays like dog water, and then you're like, let's try the other guy, and you look like a genius because he played well. Yeah, what?
In your scale, what's a little better than dog water? Is it older dog water or like cat water is better?
I don't know. They're cleaner.
I don't know.
They're a little bit
yeah,
cleaner.
I don't know. Just regular tap water. I don't know.
It's that close, and it's not because like one's a dual threat. Like when we used to when Carr, I would wanted this to happen. I know it sounds bad, but I wanted Carr to miss a couple games because I wanted to see how the offense was utilized with Mariota, his rushing ability. That's not what is here. They're both two quarterbacks that are pocket with a little tiny bit mobility.
Like Zappy might have the better arm.
Yeah. Zappy has the better arm. Jones is probably a little bit more mobile than Zappy, but they're both very much the same player.
Not his ankle what it's currently at. So yeah. Let's get through some of the other injuries rapid fire. DK Metcalf probably gonna miss a couple weeks, but luckily not season ending. Chuba Hubbard, think he's gonna play this week. His ankle tweak didn't look that bad. Alan Lazard went out the game by video, appeared to our Pro Football Docs to be an AC joint. That's gonna be interesting to watch for the Sunday night matchup against the Bills. Leaning towards him not playing. The Pro Football Docs are. It's kind of a deal where you can inject and play through, but remains to be seen if he and the team want to do that. At the very least, it's not more than a 1 or 2 week injury. David Njoku, I think he went on IR with that high ankle sprain. Or no, he remained off IR. Mike Williams.
Yeah, he's on my fantasy team. I if he's going to be out 4 weeks, if there's a way to know, please put him on IR. I'd like to just use him, but it's like this sucks. I mean, as somebody who drafted Kyle Pitts and got lucky and snagged Njoku, I was like, I can deal with this, and now I'm back to the slums.
I'm going to bring up Pitts later because I'm going to bring up this like bad team. If you draft, if you have all these players on the same team, the all bus team. But no, you're right about Pitts.
Yeah, Njoku was like just a bright spot, like for everybody who like missed on the early tight end. He was like right there up. It wasn't obviously he's not Kelsey or Andrews. He was pretty close.
Ranked. No, that was the one I told you guys. If you guys missed on your number one tight end, Njoku, you were not feeling anybody's pain right now.
Right.
Like at all. The replacement for him, Harrison Bryant, we'll think about that. But like you said, you might need to go to the well and find someone because what sucks about this situation is, like you said, you're not finding anybody replicating this. He was getting like 6 to 7 catches a game. Like he was a guy.
Him and Cooper in that offense. It's no one else.
And it was a guy too that like I thought
running the ball that it just opens up everything in the middle.
Everything, and he gets those little 20. He's getting great yards per catch, that he didn't normally do. So it's bad because there's not anybody out there that's for like in a fantasy standpoint. Like he was a mainstay, someone that like you do, like you like to wait on certain players. So if you wait for a tight end, you were fine this year.
I think it would have been better. Like I would have felt a lot better if I didn't still have Pitts on my roster. But now, like I was ready, bro. I was ready to drop him. I'm like, this is it. It's done. I'm done. I'm going to drop him. And then Njoku gets hurt, and now I'm like, am I gonna start this guy? Like I don't know. Like there's probably better options. Like Evan Ingram, I would probably rather start. Dulcich, if you were able to snag him on waivers, definitely.
He's definitely.
Definitely. It's like and Harrison Bryant. Like even Harrison Bryant. Like, are you starting Harrison Bryant over Pitts right now?
I think that's the fact that should be an argument in your head. Like it should be. I don't know.
It is. Yeah.
It's not. That'll keep you up late night wondering.
No, that's gross.
Please just pick one. It's not going to be that much better.
Like I'm about ready to trade. Like I'm. If anybody thinks maybe there's even a little shred of life left in Pitts, I would trade him for like 10 to 15 fab. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at. Like it's that bad out here.
Oh, for sure.
Dalton Schultz with the knee looked like little aggravation again. That's like the second week he's done it. See, I thought they were going to involve Jake Ferguson more, but he only got one target. So might be Schultz's tight end job still for another week. Daniel Bellinger kind of burst on the scene as the Giants' main pass catcher, out for a while with that eye fracture. Looked pretty bad. Mm-hmm. I don't know how a hand gets through the face mask, but 100% I would always wear a visor.
I bet he comes back visored up. Yeah, he'll be visored up.
Yeah, They're making the visor now.
It looks infinitely cooler, like especially if you're like a skill position player, like you're getting the ball a lot.
Danian, that was the coolest thing.
Ooh,
I know back in the day, he actually had to ask for that. They weren't always in the, especially the shaded one. But yeah, that's like you said, when you see that, that's cool. Like that's like visually, why not?
Right. And the one thing I would be worried about is like I wouldn't want to wear sunglasses. You know what I mean? Like I'm okay. Like so having them shaded, like I would just be wearing like a clear one even, and just
if you're wearing sunglasses, you gotta do like the AJ Brown. You gotta have like the Dolce Gabbanas like over the top with no helmet, just sitting on the bench like ready to go, and also know like you're backing up every game, like being good. You can't just be like a bad player. Like if you're like Robbie Anderson, you're Robbie Anderson. You're sitting like and you can't rock in the shades because I'm like I want you to get in there and you're in my defense out there. Yeah. I just want you like ready to suit up maybe. Like I don't want you sitting on the bench like wearing any type of shades, looking cool because you're not.
Oh, the NFL is gonna 100% market that. They're gonna have a deal with some sunglass maker like, oh, our sideline eyewear sponsored by Dolce & Gabbana, and then that's the only way they let players do that.
Doesn't Oakley have the visors? I thought Oakley had the visors.
So,
no, Oakley does. My dad used to work there, and Mahomes was one of the first athletes to get custom signed, and like they promote that because yes, they did have a huge thing with visors. Yes.
Nice. Okay. All right. That's the injury report. I'm disgusted to be affected by so much of this, but let's get into dudes and duds and see what we're dealing with from last week.
Dudes and duds.
I don't want to go first. I'm gonna make Jacob do it. Let's make Jacob go first. Let's dude it up.
I went simple this week. Joe Cool. We're talking about sunglasses. Joey Burrow absolutely torched.
Oh, can I say something by the way?
Yeah.
This is no, I don't. That's I'm an ASS. Yes, I'm sorry.
No,
but this is the first time dud to dude. By the way,
That's true.
He was my dud last week.
He was.
So I did want to say that. Sorry,
right.
Go on.
All right.
So you said Joe Cool. I was like, I said
he
that.
He bounced back. Yeah. Absolutely torched the Falcons secondary. AJ Terrell went out early with the hamstring. That helped a lot, but he was torching them early on. 34 for 42, 481 yards, 3 touchdowns, 138 QBR. Just any way you slice it up.
Didn't he rush for one too?
Dominant game. Yeah, he did rush for one.
He's
so absolute dominant game from him.
Sorry.
Tyler Boyd getting involved. Everyone ate on that offense that day. So that's what we've been expecting from it. Just we didn't expect to week 7 for it to come true.
Yeah, there was a scare in that game when I was watching it as somebody who's pretty invested in Jamar Chase where he was popping off, right? I think he was the number 1 wide receiver on the week still. Right. And there was a moment where he like hopped off and I was like, no, man, we're not doing this, right? Like, and he missed some time.
His little hip thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And he came back in though.
Yeah. Hips don't lie. He's okay.
That's scary. That was scary for me.
It's hard from a coverage standpoint because every time you see someone huge name go out like that, we want to say something, we want to jump in. But if we don't have definitive anything to say, I mean, we wait to see if he comes back, and if he comes back, you're fine. He played through.
We'll have a doc more often not being like, oh, hurt, not injured, tape it up. He should come back in.
It's just funny because you see like Twitter just panic. Like, Jamar Chase is going to locker room.
You got to.
Oh, my fantasy team is done.
Yeah.
Come on, let's slow down a little bit. It's a minute before halftime. The game's out of hand. Maybe he's going in for just early hydration, whatever it is. So.
Yeah. So Joe Burrow's definitely a dude. He's definitely progressing nicely. Obviously, the start to the season wasn't. The start to the season was not what he wanted. And obviously, I don't know if it had anything to do with that appendectomy thing, but maybe he's back. Maybe he's back to last year. Joe Cool. I don't know.
I mean, I think the line just figured it out too. The offensive line had a bunch of new pieces, so it helps to be going against a Falcons secondary that is not putting up much of a fight against your star receivers, T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. But if Joe Burrow has a pocket and he's not under duress like he's been the last 3 years, then let it rip.
Yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
All
right,
for sure.
Taylor, what's your dude?
I picked a Raider, obviously. Josh Jacobs, absolutely elite the last 3 weeks. I'll just talk about right now. 143 and 3 touchdowns last week. Last week he had 154 and a touch. The week before that he had 144 and 2 touchdowns. So the kid's crazy. He's on we said no. I'm saying I have no part of the Raiders at all.
He's in the front office.
No, this is your fault. This is your fault.
No, it's my. It's good. Maybe they lit a fire in his behind because this saying no to his 5-year option. I mean, the kid's insane. This is the best he's played in his career. The 3-game stretch is I was looking at stats. I didn't find it now. It's like there's not there. If you're in this conversation, there's only like 4 running backs. He's unbelievable right now. So that's helping not the Raiders exactly. They only win like 1 or twice since he's done this. So I mean, like,
single-handedly beat the Texans. So that helps.
So he's doing really well. taking the load off of Carr, so doesn't have to do so much. But this is something that was expected out of him. He was always able to run the ball. He's run the ball about 69 times. I didn't do that on purpose. Yeah, nice. He done that 69 times in the last 3 games. That's insane. Yeah. He doesn't usually run like that. So if he's able to do that, he did that at Alabama. Then balls to the wall. Let's go.
He's just
Josh Jacobs.
He's league winner territory because you guys brought in all those other backs and everyone got scared and his ADP just kept dropping, and then someone got him in like 70 to 80 range depending on your league, and boom, there he is, just 20
points, for sure. Points a week. Yeah, for where you got him, 100%. This dude's crushing it. He's probably keeping your season afloat. I mean, there were a lot of bombs in the beginning, first few rounds,
especially running backs this year.
Yeah, for sure. And if you hit some of those, Jacobs might be propping you up. Like it's like a little facelift.
Njoku and Jacobs, you're doing good in those positions. Yep.
Nice. That's a solid dude. He's in dude of the year territory. I mean,
he is in dude of the year territory.
I already blew my dude of the year load on Jared Goff.
Yo, I can't believe we can't mute him right now. That's crazy.
What? I'm just saying. I feel like I already used it. I feel like I prematurely dudulated, and now I'm trying to figure out like what, you know what I mean? Like if I could take it back, I would. But man, Jared Goff.
Somehow it got to Jared Goff because he felt the pressure. He overthought it on the bye week. He's like, I got to do it for Justin, and
it's something happened. I feel bad.
Winning someone due to the year week 4 was already good.
It was a bold move, man, but I was feeling bold. All right, so let's get to my dude. It's the guy who ran my prodigal son out of town. Travis Etienne, 14 carries, 114 yards. He had a 2-point conversion. He only had 1 catch, I think five targets, though. 1 catch for like 5 yards. That was nothing, but he's going to get a lot more passing work. He's a dude. He's a bona fide dude, and the Jaguars know it. And and they shipped out James Robinson. There's nobody there. I mean, well, I guess there are a couple people there. If you want to,
Connor.
Yeah, you want to shoot for some backups and see if there's like another handcuff there. I don't know, but right now Travis Etienne is the guy there. And he's going to get all the work. I mean, maybe not all the work, but like just
like
more than most. Yeah, more than most.
I mean, he's averaging 8.1, 8.6, and 7.1. Like the games that he's took to like load himself. So I mean, he's the man by a lot. He scored his first touchdown, I believe. Yes. Last week. So yeah, he's getting the production, going into the end zone, pay dirt. So now he was getting the yards before. Like you said, the pass catching work will come, because he's able to do both. But I mean, right now, let him figure out, like, the run game was always going to be the one he needed to learn the most. Pass catching, he was supposed to be good. I'm still a little iffy on that, but like he has the ability to do that. So
I had James Robinson in my flex spot. Some people had him as their RB2, and they were like praying for him to come back at this point. And if you started him last week, you were clinically depressed after that game.
Sure.
You know when I knew it was over? Was when Travis Etienne fumbled. And there was no repercussions. They put him right back out there and just kept giving him the ball. And I was like, all right, well, that's a wrap. But
it's tough to be depressed on Sundays because you can't get the appointments on Monday anyways.
Right. It's definitely, it's tough. Offices are closed. But no, James Robinson now officially a New York Jet after the Breece Hall injury. That's a whole different scenario.
That's a good scenario. That's a good scenario.
It's a better scenario, than what was going on in Jacksonville for James Robinson.
Sure. Absolutely.
I don't think they're just going to hand the keys over, though, right? Like, it's going to be as close to, like, if you get 50-50, I should be pretty happy, right? Like with him and Michael Carter.
I don't know why they don't give him the keys, especially when I'm saying that knee soreness is BS. So I think he's fine. The run scheme, definitely he needs to learn, but he's the better runner there. Michael Carter is probably going to take his receiving work, so he's going to get capped on that.
Well, early season, that's what you said about both of them. Is like, I don't know why they put so much in Breece Hall, because Michael Carter does the same thing. He's dual threat.
He's
so
good.
that just leaves Michael Carter as the pass catching option. So PPR maybe boost, but James Conner, I agree. I think gets a lot of work on the ground.
I think we talked about Norv. It's definitely James hard Robinson. For someone to immediately be good the first game. You got to learn the system. There's not all packages for the player. So yeah, I'm not expecting Robinson to run for 15, get 90 and a touch. But I mean, he's going to be the man there. He shouldn't have to fight for too much. I also think that they put him in a situation, like they helped him out. They traded him to a spot he just shouldn't have to fight for a lot. And also this is I don't know, excuse me, I think he's going to be a free agent after this year. We can check that. But
I think it's like a restricted free agent, so they'll have the
yeah, exactly. So he has a chance to show out and go somewhere else. So I think this is a good opportunity for both teams, especially with the Jets playing so like well this year. That's why they made this move. Any other year, they'd be like, all right, Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, we'll figure it out. Maybe Marlon Mack, Tevin Coleman, one of those guys, right? But now it's let's get Robinson. Let's like keep this boat going.
I don't even think James Robinson's like disappointed he doesn't get to go to London. He's like, I'm fine.
Yeah,
I want to go to London. So
yeah.
I mean
he's already been, right? Doesn't Jacksonville play there?
Jacksonville goes every year.
They do every year. But like, I'm not flying all the way to London to not play and watch Etienne take my snaps again.
Promise me a goal line snap.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the duddies. Jacob, what do you got?
Kept it simple this week, just with quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers, 23 for 35, 194 and 2 touchdowns. On the surface, it's not terrible, but it was against the Commanders with no Chase Young, not a lot of pass rush. I was looking back for the Al Lazard injury and just kept seeing him like dodging around his offensive line. I know Bakhtiari is a big loss and affects his production, but he's like taping up his thumb halfway through. I don't know how real that thumb injury is or not. I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. They're still throwing him 35 times a game. So
it's as real as a toe injury, right?
I would think, yeah. I just think he overemphasizes every injury, which is fine. I mean, it's the NFL. I know you get banged up, but I just wouldn't want to play for the guy. I'm seeing him like throw a ball like at Romeo Dobbs' shins that he doesn't catch, and he's like, "What are we doing?" Like,
yeah, and then, I mean, it's like the Pat McAfee, and then you get roasted on Pat McAfee.
That makes your arms longer. Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Where is it?
What are we doing? Like, really? That's the guy that's our fearless leader. I mean, I get he has nobody to throw to, but he just has a terrible attitude about it.
I mean, obviously you can blame. I'm a Packers fan, right? So you can blame the front office all you want for letting Devontae Adams go and not really fixing that. However, how do you fix it when Aaron Rodgers is making $50+ million a year? Like, this man took no cuts to make his team better. So you're getting paid. So just shut up, man. Do your job. And
you're gonna have to make some roster cuts. You know?
To make them look good, not blame them when they're doing what they should be doing, which is look adequate.
Like Sammy Watkins has one leg.
Randall Cobb, you lost. He was like the most reliable receiver. But
Lazard has one arm now.
Is the Dobbs dream dead though? Like, have you guys watched him at all? Like, it's
Can I say something though?
It feels bad.
Just go to Dobbs' like page. His numbers aren't bad compared to like the rest of that receiving room. He's one of the better players there. So, and he's the one that has the most TD threat out of anybody.
Yeah, but Justin's had high hopes for him. He's like, "Where's the 100-yard game? Where's the catch game?"
So I see you're looking at the stats, but have you looked at the drops column because there's some droppy drops. So he got the drops.
All right, that's his fault.
Come on, Aaron Rodgers throwing out his shins counts as a drop.
It does count as a drop, but yeah, some of them have been pretty bad though. There's really, I mean, it's gonna be last man standing, right? Like I did see Christian Watson's back at practice. That's semi encouraging.
Yay.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, shoot, I don't know what this offense needs, but I don't think they're gonna find it this season.
They need Bakhtiari to have like the knees he had 10 years ago.
That's gonna be hard.
It would be nice, yeah.
That's gonna be difficult.
All
right,
like 5 years ago, I'd take, but yeah.
Taylor, dud it up.
Mark Andrews. I don't really care if he had a knee injury or not. You can't do no catches. That's a dud.
We were watching the game. Like we didn't get the chance to see it because it's morning games. There's like 7 games going on, but we just watched it back with him and the Browns. Like he looks like an old man out there. I don't know what his knee injury is, but it's not allowing him to do Mark Andrews stuff.
I mean, if you're doing 90+ snaps, you need to catch the ball once.
If you say you're fine, then you're fine.
I need one catch.
Sit for a tight end.
This is like because like not only like honestly, if he did one catch, I'd be like, oh, still kind of sucks, but like you can't do no catches.
They only targeted him twice. I think they saw like how bad he was moving out there, and they're just like, we can't keep throwing to him.
I'll say this is a hard dud to swallow because it's hard to poo-poo. Yeah, it's hard to poo-poo on Mark Andrews for being one of the top 2 tight ends and consistently good throughout the year.
You're allowed a bad week.
He just hit a hard stop here, but I think what would have served him better was just don't play. Like if you're hurt a little bit, sit. Everybody wanted to play Isaiah Likely, right?
Yeah,
like Isaiah Likely's right there.
That's my issue. You're hoarding the field.
Yeah, get off the field, old man.
It's like disrespectful. I'm mad about it. No, but I mean, you can't do.
And they're on a short week now, so now he just screwed himself for this week too because he played through it and then he didn't get the proper rest from sitting out a week. So expect another dead week this week.
Every single game last year, he had at least 3 catches. You can't do 0.
All right, that's the rule. That's the bar
Yeah.
for you. 0 catches. At least Pitts is getting catches.
No, exactly.
Right?
He could continue his 3-catch streak this week,
Draft capital is definitely, that's why the Jacobs was so high for me too, is also for this one. If you're drafting someone so high, you can't have 0 catches.
Right.
If you're a team that drafted Mark Andrews, the only reason you've gotten this far in fantasy is because of his production. So for him to have a goose egg, you got no shot, no matter what the rest of your roster does.
Like the last 5 games of the year last year, he had 6 or more catches.
He can get back to that. He just needs to figure out what's going on with his knee. I don't know.
So let me get to my dud, and
hopefully he doesn't, and someone else does.
let me get to my dud, and it might shed a little light on the situation here for Andrews. Lamar Jackson's my dud this week, and honestly, if you looked at his games recently, he's not exactly doing a lot.
He's kind of
right?
duddy. Yeah, he's
it's been a few duddies, but I mean, because it's Lamar Jackson, you're like, okay, you're getting some rushing yards, which is really propping up. But he had 59 rushing yards this week, and still only had like 10 fantasy points. So you're over half of his fantasy points came from rushing, and that's really all you're getting from Lamar Jackson right now.
He's the 5th leading rusher in the whole league.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, is the rushing yards are really propping up his stats outside of weeks 2 and actually his first 3 weeks, I should say. You're looking at him as like QB1. Like he's insane the first 3 weeks.
For sure.
Since then, he's been kind of duddy, bro. I don't know. He's been a little duddy. So
he's actually looking at that. He's like QB 21 the last 4 weeks, or like since his hip issue that he had. That I don't want to tie it to the hip, but he's been bad.
So he had 9 completions on 16 passes. That's Justin Fields-esque right there. I mean,
you're not wrong.
It's close.
You got under 10 completions a game. Come on.
Yeah, 120 yards, and then like you said, he had the 59 yards on the ground. But Justin Fields outperformed him like probably the last couple of weeks. Honestly, if you look at it, like, which is kind of scary. So if you're somebody who's like the differential of like top tier quarterbacks is bigger than ever now, but for whatever reason, Lamar Jackson's kind of like regressed to like the average, I guess. I don't know.
His offensive line has been trouble this year too. It's not helpful. I mean, Justin Fields, I was reading about it too. His team knows his team's bad. He has nothing. He has nothing around them, so they're just like trying their best to like do that. I'm also going to list the Lamar Jackson thing you said. Justin Fields has 100% been better than Lamar Jackson the last 3 weeks. It's kind of crazy.
That is nuts.
No, it's definitely true. And no, so there's an issue there, and there's a certain point too. The fact that he did it to start the year when the offensive line was actually hurt a little more until now. I know he didn't have,
and now he's fading.
Yeah, and I know he didn't have Bateman, but I mean Duvernay has been come up and he's been decent. Like you said, Andrews, this is his first bad game this year. He's been good the rest of the before that. So this is the first time where you can kind of blame it on Lamar, right? Like other times you'd be like, oh, he doesn't have receiving weapons. Oh, Mark Andrews had a down year. Oh, look at the rushing. All right, we're looking at the rushing, and it's not working. Yeah,
but the thing is, real quick, he's getting the rushing yards, so you can't be truly mad at him, because if he throws
running back, he's fine.
If he throws one touchdown or rushes one touchdown in, you're like, all right, that's top tier QB, and you're okay with it. But when he doesn't get it, it looks bad. Like this, it looks bad.
And there's one thing people are like, oh, that's why you drafted him. Of course, that's why I drafted him, but I didn't draft him for 9 for 16 either.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be interesting. I mean, Gus Edwards coming back eats into a little bit. I mean, you're talking about he's the grinder. If they're up in the ball game, it's not gonna be Lamar running up the middle. He has his scramble yardage and stuff, but
they still rely on those though, like you said though. Like
Gus Edwards and Kenyon Drake. I mean, I think they're gonna steal more and more carries as they try to protect Lamar. And I know how Hollywood Brown's hurt, but I think it's evident how big of a loss that is to the offense, and it's so interesting that they decided to move on. I know you love Bateman, but
he's not
a number one. You know, it just moves. It makes everyone get into a role that they're not used to.
He looks like a 2 right now. So yeah, we'll see.
Let's
the 2.
Yeah, let's pop open the microwave and find some leftovers here.
The leftovers.
All right, so we got this just a beautiful list of names on the leftovers. This might be worst leftovers all season long. If you're looking at this list, it just
I always wonder what we heated up, and it's just this week. It's just like
sometimes
like week-old meatloaf. It's just
sometimes it comes out and you're not supposed to know. You know, it's just hot food, right? Yeah,
you just put it in your stomach and digest
just close
it.
My eyes and just eat this.
Yeah. So right. I mean, at the top of your list right now, 17% owned. Mark Ingram.
That's the most tasty option, which is it's gonna be worse.
He's getting work, and Kamara's there. and he's
There's
still
trade-
getting work. So it's
There's
like,
trade rumors around Kamara. That's where it makes it kind of an interesting leftover because if Kamara gets traded, I don't know how likely it is. I mean, the Saints are 2-5. I don't know how they want to handle that situation, but if you're gonna bet on someone getting traded, running back wise, might be Mark Ingram.
I have a couple names to add to this list. Number one, sorry, I didn't do my homework, guys.
no, you're good.
Sam Ellinger, 15% owned. He's a quarterback. I know we don't know it that he's going to be good, and you're probably going to get poor production. But this is a quarterback that's going to be available, and he's the starter the whole season. So that's something to look at.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that because that was somebody I was going to throw in at the end of this when he got to the end. It's just because he's very intriguing for a lot of people, like I said, who are struggling at quarterback. He's somebody that, like, if you have a roster spot, just grab him right now and see.
Yes,
right?
just in case.
You're going into bye weeks. I mean, my only question is, are they gonna do what they did, which is throw the ball 40 times and neglect Jonathan Taylor? Or do they want him to be a game manager?
Game manager, for sure.
But he can run. So there's
that's the thing. Yeah, Ellinger can run. He has the mobility.
He adds a dimension to that offense. Okay.
No, Taylor people should be happy because like if they don't run him 40 times, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
Like he needs to be run to the ground.
Run him to the. And he had 58 yards.
58 yards.
Makes no sense.
Run that dude into the ground. He's so effective.
You're gonna throw Matt Ryan 47 times and then say his arm shot? Yeah, because you
shot it out. You old yellered his arm. You took him out to the shed and you old yellered his arm because you made him throw that many times. Like, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Next name. Sorry, I got crazy. Marquise Goodwin. He just randomly solidified himself as a slot receiver for Seattle. Excuse me. Last couple games, he's been playing well. He's had 20 points last week. Actually, that was the only game. But 2 touchdowns. But he's getting work. He's getting 75 to 85% of the routes out there. I know it's Smith. He's not even really throwing to wide receivers much. He's
right, but no DK for a couple weeks. That could be a good spot start.
No, that's what I mean. He's gonna get
still nursing the hamstring,
and that's what Godwin probably took over more this week was the Lockett stuff. But I think that, like you said, there's just going to be more opportunities for him there, and I think he runs the intermediate routes, and we all know Geno Smith ain't throwing far, so he does help him there in that regard.
Shout out Geno Smith for sustaining that offense. It's an exciting offense.
Oh, it's like everybody isn't talking about it because we were all wrong.
Yeah.
As a fantasy community, we were wrong about it, and no one wants to talk about it, but we will. For the
Russell
fantasy
Wilson.
community, we will say we were all wrong about you.
Russell Wilson's in shambles right now, eating his danger witch. Actually, just so sad watching Seattle just succeed without him. Right? He's doing.
Would you order that ever? Would you ever?
No. Well, the thing is, you have to get me to Subway first. And no offense to any sponsors, I'm not going to go to Subway to get a sub.
That's probably the best answer. Yeah, you shouldn't be at Subway unless it's close to you and it's the only thing.
Right. It's got to be extremely convenient. But
I don't
no.
know if anyone's considering starting Russell this week, but just don't. I mean, it's an early game, so just don't count on it. If he does play, his hamstring is not going to have him 100%. He's not going to scramble, be mobile. So he's already been terrible with the ability to escape the pocket and make plays on the move. Now he's not going to have that and going to be a pocket passer. So just don't.
All right,
let's move on.
Yeah, let's talk one situation real quick. Obviously, James Robinson's on the move. Travis Etienne is not going to be the only running back on the roster. Like, you know what I mean? There's got to be something there. So who's the backup? Who's the handcuff to Etienne? Because I'm not going to say, I don't want to jinx him. He's got the running style of someone who's going to get hurt. I don't know. Whenever I watch him run, Travis Etienne.
Oh yeah.
He's very fast, very shifty, but his cuts are like so violent.
Have you seen his foot? The way he goes
runs like
you've seen it.
It's very weird.
It's like weird. Yeah, it's like winged, like a webbed foot thing. I don't know what it is. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Is like, who's the cuff? Like, who do you handcuff that? Who do you handcuff Etienne? Because right now everyone's picking up Hasty, thinking that's the guy because that's who's been playing. But Snoop Connor's, he just doesn't play special teams. So now he's going to get called up. He's going to be in the rotation. I don't know. I guess it's a wait and see. But like, if you're trying to take a shot on it, a flyer, this is what Leftovers is all about. Get your lottery tickets.
Snoop Connor, he's the man. 13 touchdowns last year at Ole Miss. He's decent. He's not everyone that you're expecting to be running the ball 20 times. He's a decent receiver. He's gonna spell more than anything. But
yeah,
he's you're like, man. Excuse me. He can score, though. He can find himself in the end zone. So if you want to have someone on your bench that could maybe get 6 to 8 points just on scoring a touchdown, go for it. I think he does get more work than Hasty eventually. Hasty's gotten to right now because he's been more involved lately, so they're going to try to use them. But after a game or two, and they realize, like just like the Niners did, like that he's not the best in large samples, then they'll go to Connor. You do need to try him out. They did get him. What's it called? 5th rounder. So I mean, they didn't just like it was an undrafted free agent. So I mean, they wanted him. So they need to see what they have in him. 5'10", 215.
One more question based on this, and this is obviously the most important question.
Yes, sir.
Who's got the cooler name? Is it Jermichael Hasty or is it Snoop Connor?
That's a close call.
That's a real
like
close
Hasty
call.
as a running back is like, yo, I'm
That's
pretty
how
quick.
He moves. He's
like I can move with haste.
I always like the Ricky Bobby thing. I always like, oh, I got 2 first names. Like Snoop I like the Snoop. Like I like
Snoop
that.
Connor.
Like Snoop Connor. Like
Okay,
you know.
all right. Snoop anything. I mean, obviously,
Connor,
yeah, Snoop's pretty cool. I just want to
Michael-
call. I just want to. Now I want a friend named Snoop, so I can just be like, "What's up, Snoop?" I just want to call somebody
that's
Snoop.
you want to just name your friend that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like your
That's
daughter.
how-
Your daughter.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. What's up, Snoop? Little Snoopy.
Why are you snooping around? You little Snoop.
Yeah, 'cause then they'll be like, "Oh, what are you talking about? The rapper?" Like, no, Snoopy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'll be
Exactly.
good.
All right, Jacob. Let's get into shootouts or droughts. Obviously, if you look at the over/unders of this week, there's a couple of them, but I'm looking at this. Some of them involve teams that are just kind of not good. So,
It's a weird NFL
Not the
league.
first game though. The Raiders and Saints, those are good teams.
oh yeah, those are gems. Those are the pinnacle of the NFL.
Pinnacle. Right?
Yeah, I mean, Marshawn Lattimore is a big one to watch for Devontae Adams. If Marshawn Lattimore is back from his ribs, he's obviously matching him against Devontae Adams.
sure.
So,
Yep.
Good thing Hunter Renfrow is back. I don't know how he did, Taylor.
Not great. He
Not
only had a
great.
couple targets.
Not great.
But
Matt Collins has fallen off. So
he had a touchdown though. So no, Matt Collins. Remember we talked about superstar athlete. He's fine. But I know that's a good thought though. If he does get locked down by Adams, Renfrow route runs himself open, so he
Right.
will be available.
next one, Dolphins at Lions. That's the highest over under the week. Any game the Lions is in,
Is a
you're
high over under.
starting
Yeah.
everyone on the opposing team. Obviously, everyone's starting Tyreek and Jalen Waddle anyways, but look for Raheem Mostert too. Lions can't stop the run at all this year. So
What is up with that? I know we didn't really high in Mostert because he had a very I don't want to be medically and say it wrong.
they're just
It starts with
feeding
an
him,
O.
though. Like,
It starts with an O, but he
yeah.
had a very very in-depth knee surgery that we didn't think he'd come back from. I'll just say one thing. He's doing well because he's getting volume, and McDaniels knows how to use him in his scheme.
right.
The one thing though that was his calling card. He's so fast, and he had always had those long runs, and there's always like, oh, he ran for 23 miles per hour, something like that. Not doing that this year.
No.
'Cause that's the one thing you lose when you have a surgery of that magnitude. His speed, his explosive, the speed's there. The explosive is not there at all.
When he gets to 4th, 5th gear, it's just not happening anymore.
Like 16 for 79, that's fine. He's getting 4 catches for 30 and a touchdown. That's
He
good.
never caught the ball. I don't know where
No,
that's coming from.
It's
But
because he's good at his speed. So if you get him,
screen
a
option,
screen,
yeah.
and you block the way he's, McDaniel has good screen blocking scheme. Like,
Yeah.
That's how Mostert is effective, and they've been doing that. So that's someone like you said that you can target for very cheap because a lot of people are like, oh, is Chase Edmonds is no longer a thing.
Nope.
They spent all that money for him. He had 7 for 17. I don't even think he's that good of a runner. I actually thought he was really
the
good.
pass catching
I thought he
option,
was.
yeah.
He had 2 targets for 0 catches. So that's what I mean. I'm like, I don't even think he's effective in that run game anymore or pass game.
So yeah, it's the highest over under. The Lions looked so bad last week. Jared Goff had
DeAndre
one.
I
might be
think the
back.
Lions haven't caught up yet. This is one that might be like
Yeah.
a sneaky under game. Like Goff has yet to figure out anything. I know first 3
Four
weeks. Sorry, yeah.
4 turnovers
Yeah.
on his own last
Yeah.
week. That's gross.
Speaking of turnovers, that's kind of one of the reasons why Matt Ryan was also benched. He had
Right.
led the league in interceptions, and like you said, I know he got 3 of his 9 fumbles, but
I think that's
You're
the most,
fumbling 9
that's the most
times.
incredible stat I've come across this year. I know it's like a random stat, but 11 fumbles. He only lost 3. How does that even happen? That's
the one thing I'll
shout out
say
the O-line for diving on him.
when I research about defenses, and they always say like, "Oh, this defense recovered this many this year." They always say the defense is going to be bad the next year.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you
can't repeat
like
that,
you can't recover that many fumbles on defense. They're going to go the other way. Like if
Yeah.
you got 20 fumbles and like 17 go the other way, you're going to get like 6 or 8 next year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's just how it works. But no, that's
We'll see. DeAndre Swift might be back, so that might boost that game. But
They need
Right.
him.
that's
Like,
one to track. Yeah.
Jamal was something that was a flash in the pan for me. I know he's
Clearly
good.
he's not
and
the-
he's a
yeah.
great second guy, but as the first guy, it took a little
You
bit.
can fool people for 4 to 6 weeks, and then it's the middle season, and they're like,
Get
oh,
mad
okay.
at the Patriots. They were in the middle of that funk. Middle. They're good, not funk. They're killing it like offense. Boom, 29-0. They got shut out by
Yeah.
Patriots. Everybody has that film now.
Yep.
If Goff is back this week, it's 100%.
He's back every week. He's not hurt.
No,
You're acting
I'm saying
like
if
he
he's
came back from
back,
injury.
if he's back, like he's
to do
back
territory.
to due to the year
We're
territory.
back.
It's 100. I'm throwing away all the games where Swift wasn't playing, and that's it. I'm gonna be
You're
like,
throwing
just
them
pretend
away.
those didn't
Yeah,
happen.
yeah,
Just categories
And we're back.
categorizing them differently.
Yeah, they're two different teams. It's a different team. So
No, Swift, it sucks, and I think this is going to be happening going in the future too, which is unfortunate for him. He looks like he could be like the McCaffrey of the past, like so good at receiving, so good at catching. I mean, it's so good at rushing. Very effective. Lions have a very good offensive line. It's just like this is a second year in a row that like you've had him in like the top 10 running backs maybe when you rank him. And it's like he might fall just outside again. Just because of what he's doing.
Everyone was just feeling so smart, drafting him where they drafted him, and then
because he was one of those
injuries
Jacobs.
happen, it's
He was
rough.
one of those Jacobs. You could get him. Maybe some people dropped him at maybe 13th, and you're like, oh crap! Like maybe the receiving ability just enough would put him
That was
up
built
ahead.
up, yeah.
But it's like he's not healthy. I mean, it's not helpful.
Let's get to the last two games. Cardinals at Vikings, 48.5. That might be an interesting one. I mean, Cardinals exploded against the Saints. I don't know if that's repeatable. I don't know if it's a Robbie Anderson game. Hopefully it is.
D Hop is back, which is massive.
D Hop is huge. That is huge.
I always want. There's receivers I
Conner
see
might
catch
be
the
back.
ball. He looks like it's so easy to catch the ball. It's insane. And they always like. He's also helpful too. Like they always like hit him like too high. Like Murray's like, oh, I'll shoot him up high. He's got it. You know what I mean? He's just like both hands on the ball. Like you know when you catch the ball well, you're not using your body in any way. Like that dude is all hands. Like he's amazing. So if Murray's shortcomings basically being inaccurate, they will be better off, with Hopkins. But like you said, they still need Robbie Anderson to be in there. AJ Green is dust. I don't think I've even seen his name last couple.
Except for in Packers rumors.
no, stop it, bro.
You don't want
Stop.
that. You don't
We
want that. Come on.
No, that's bad. I will say one thing. I think I have to ask. DeAndre Hopkins, that video that he released before he came back.
That hyped me up. That put me up. That made me bet on him. That made me DFS everything. What are you gonna say?
Is that a comeback?
Yeah.
Like, is this a comeback? Is it a comeback from being suspended?
Failing a PED test.
This is
Like, it's not like he's overcoming adversity. He got suspended by the league. Like this.
Imagine me going to prison. Imagine me going to prison for like tax evasion, and I come back. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm
back, baby. Let's go.
Very good
You
analogy.
missed me, right?
Neat.
Exactly.
You guys can relate.
Ugh.
In defense of DeAndre Hopkins, because there was a lot of chatter because we didn't see him, and he had the MCL surgery late in the playoffs.
Right,
There's
that's
a lot
true,
of
too.
maybe he's lost a step, maybe he's too old. He has not. I know it's one game, but he has not lost a step.
He looked like he gained a step.
He might have.
Like the MCL might be like
Maybe it helps
some
that he was
else.
out the first 6 weeks, but I mean, he's fine.
fresh. He's got
don't
those
worry
fresh
about it.
legs.
like when you're sitting out, I always think rust. But I think sometimes as an athlete, like for me, like when we work like a bunch, like I'm just sleeping one day all day.
Yeah.
And
I mean, when you've been doing it for 6, 7, 8 years, there's no rust. You're just stepping back in. And you're like, this is like just treading water.
And
I know
honestly,
exactly
like
how to
working
do
from
it.
home, typing on a computer is the same as his like complete athletic ability.
Are
But
you gonna drop a comeback video for like when you're
Yeah.
sick next time? You're like,
oh, we
I'm
don't
back.
have to practice on Wednesday? Yes, I'm sleeping on Tuesday. No, I'm
Here's-
kidding.
I want to see a slow-mo video you slapping the keyboard with your fingers. Like, I'm gonna write an article up. Like, we're
Like,
back,
don't-
baby.
Don't pull a hammy there.
no
typing.
carpal tunnel for me.
Yeah. All right, let's get to this last one because it's depressing to look
Yes.
Ugh. Yes.
Biggest spread Aaron Rodgers faced in his lifetime. I think it's 12 now.
at.
I think it's at 12. I don't even know if it's moving from
I
12.
can
But
look that. Yeah.
I don't know who are you playing on the Packers if you have DFS? AJ Dillon?
Oh, DFS? No, you don't go anywhere
Sammy
near this for
Watkins.
DFS.
Remember, you got no Trey White still, so
Yeah.
I think you still need to hit that pass game until they officially are back. I know there's no Hyde too. They're just a good team already. So when good teams get injuries, they usually have depth
Coming off a
behind them.
bye.
Yeah. So there's a couple books. BetMGM has it at -11.5, like you said. Rodgers has never faced this. So for me personally, just blindly bet against. Blindly put it because it's never happened before. But this is the worst time you've ever seen Aaron Rodgers. So it's actually fitting for the line to be at this point in his career.
Well, you know
we
what's
gotta
crazy
wait
though?
till,
Like it's
Sunday to figure out if Bakhtiari's knee's gonna act up or not.
That's what sucks.
That's
Zach,
not
I don't know.
Zach Tom.
like maybe I'm just a homer, but like as a Packers fan, I'm ready to bury this team, right? Like obviously they look like garbage.
He's
but
like memoriam. Like he's
no. Listen. Here's
Doug doesn't
the
even wanna
but.
watch him. Shout out
Let me
Doug, but he doesn't even
Yeah,
wanna
tell
watch
me.
him.
Let me tell you the but here, okay?
But
Sunday Night Football. This is prime time Aaron Rodgers.
He's not
All
gonna get
right.
embarrassed on prime time.
This is
I don't think he will allow a downright embarrassment. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna sling it to somebody that I don't know. Like he flicks at another level.
A tattoo like that?
I mean, yeah, kind of, yeah. Like kind of, yeah. Like I don't, yeah.
It's
a little bit
outside of the realm of possibilities.
Right. So this isn't also outside the realm of possibilities of him being good this game.
I don't know, man. I think
it's gonna be exciting.
It'll be a little more like the Bills are going to score. I think that's going to happen. I mean,
so
you
you're
can't
not going to shut out the Bills. Check.
We're not shutting out the Bills. But I do think we'll score more than 14 points.
That's fine.
So that's where I'm at on that. I think it'll be a lot closer.
My question: are you going to run the ball?
Doesn't
25
matter.
Times?
Yeah, you know what? That'd be nice. Jesus, they don't do that. Can we do that?
DQ quarterback. You should be what am I saying? Decoy quarterback. You need to literally run the ball all the time.
They're going to scheme Aaron Rodgers because they're seeing you just passing the whole
We're
time.
running the ball like 12 times a game with two really like I can't call them really good running backs anymore because they haven't got an opportunity to show you that they're good. They're good, but
every time I see Aaron Jones run the ball, he just gets to the outside and he busts it for like 12 yards, and then they're like, oh, 3 more throws.
Pass. Fourth down, pass. Fourth and short, pass. Yeah, I don't
guys,
get it.
The team total is 17.5. So you're saying 14.5. Are we getting over 17.5 for the Packers today or Sunday?
That's the implied point total for the Packers?
Like correct. FanDuel, yes, yeah.
I said they score more than 14, so I mean that's a field goal. So maybe 17. That half is tough. I don't know.
Oh, that's why it's there.
I see him getting 17.
I think we get to 20. I think we get to 20 in garbage. Yeah, I think I'd take that. I'd take that.
All right.
There you go.
I'm in on that.
Okay.
All right.
For sure.
I know. I gotta watch it. I'm gonna be watching it.
I always do that to you. I'm like, if I want him to bet and he won't, I'll just put $1 on it for him.
Right? Yeah. He's here.
I did that when we were doing basketball last playoffs.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, Taylor, I really." And he's a Celtics fan, so he'll tell me like, "Oh, I really think like this random guy named Peyton Pritchard's gonna be good."
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, it's prop 6.5. You're like, he's like, well, if I was a bettor, I would take it.
Yeah.
I'll text him like, you have $5 in Peyton Pritchard right now.
I still remember that Horford. It was Horford game 1 of the finals, and I was like, bro, you watch out. This dude's jacked up. And he was balling.
Yeah, you were right. So,
like 7 threes, career high. Yeah.
Anyway, no, it's a lot of fun. Obviously, I don't bet a lot, but I feel like in my head, I would be good at it. So that's dangerous. That's really dangerous.
Packers to score 20, guys. Put it in there.
There you
go.
Yep. Yeah. Anything else for the greater good before we move into this week of football?
Just want to shout out. You can also find it on our YouTube channel. I believe it's one of the previous videos. But Justin made a feature of our 6 scores page. It's helpful for anyone putting in DFS fantasy football lineup. You can see who's going against a low defensive score. So like previous week was the Niners, and Ravens are always low. So check it out. I mean, don't base your life on it. I mean, injuries.
I would tell you this is the Bible for DFS play. No, and I'm not even okay. I'm obviously joking.
Last couple of weeks.
I'm joking there, but like honestly, this is one of, if not the most useful thing that probably a lot of people don't know about. So if you go to 6score.com, top of the page, click the 6score page. There's so much crap right there that will like help you so much. And I'm not like, this isn't just me shilling our product. It's legitimately good and will help you.
You called it crap.
What? This crap is awesome. Yeah. Sometimes crap can be good. Like, man.
Crap. It's on the better end.
Paint it gold, yeah.
Like, look at it. Like when I'm watching this game this weekend, the Bills are putting up 50 points. I'm going to be like, look at this crap. It's good for somebody. The Bills fans are like, that's some good crap. This is good crap. All right?
Serve it out.
That's where I'm at.
So that's merchandise.
Yeah. This is good crap. You got to check it out. 6score.com.
The bumhole and crap now. All right.
We can't stop, bro. Yeah. Every week we're gonna do something different there. But all right, let's get the heck out of here, and we'll see you guys next week.
Halloween.
You talking?
Happy Halloween.
Oh, happy Halloween.
Don't get too scared.